What's good, y'all? We are back once again with another philosophical sessions. I'm Kylan, and this is my beautiful wife.
Takara.
And together, we're the hosts of Mutual Intentional Love. And this week, the question I have for you, wife, is who are you when you aren't being something or someone to someone else? And to break that down more for people to have a better understanding is outside of my wife, outside of the mother to our children, outside of an employee or co-worker, outside of a daughter, outside of a friend, like who is Takara?
That's good. I've been asked this before, and I was trying to, and it was always like asked in like the person asking the question would always do it in such a like it was like a trick question. Like it didn't matter because it was on an app and where people like I don't think so the people that were in the comments they couldn't join in video they were a video. But they couldn't. People in the comments couldn't be a video, but they could join audio.
Was it the train?
Yeah, you didn't even have to say that, but be. yeah. I'm so proud of you for remembering those.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So that's exactly
Enough said. I get the vibe.
Okay, but these people don't get it. So like, I'm trying to say that it he would always ask that as like it always came across as a trick question because no matter what somebody answered, he would kind of debate it. And I can't remember if he ever was like, "What's the right answer?" Like to him, you know. And I was just trying to think back to like what was my answer then. But you know what's ironic about that is like. That was so long ago that it wouldn't even necessarily be the same answer anyways. Because like I as a person have evolved and grown a lot since then. So who am I? You know, like it's such a crazy question because my family is always my first thought. That is like usually my answer. Like, oh, I'm a wife and I'm a mom of 3 beautiful girls. Like that's who I am.
Yeah.
And then I could name like, you know, character traits. But like, what truly answers the question?
That's the beauty of it.
I don't know.
Any answer is acceptable.
Yeah, of course. Of course, any answer is acceptable. But what is the answer? Like,
yeah.
And I always feel like it's easier for like, it probably shouldn't be that way, but I feel like it's easier for somebody else to answer. Like if you told, like, but how, that sounds actually terrible. Tell me who I am. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I get what you mean. It just feels easier to see what others see in you. And it is very interesting to hear how your perception is, how other people perceive you. And like, do you truly have a grasp on who I am or who I feel like I am?
Yeah.
Which is interesting. For
yeah.
Sure.
Well, to give an answer, I am a person of integrity. Like, integrity is a big deal. Honesty, I really, truly don't feel like there's any reason to lie. Like, just tell the truth. Now, maybe there's a reason to, like, keep your mouth shut, but you don't have to lie about anything. And that's a big difference. And I'm somebody that loves like human connection. um, just all the things that everybody can relate to, and then experiencing that with no matter the person, like just like being able to like just that feeling of like, oh, okay, yeah, like you get me, or like, oh, I understand, like, oh, me too, like all those type things. And yeah, that's about all I got right now. I like to learn, and um, yeah, I don't know. I do better with like listening and well, actually that's not true because this literally is a question. I was just about to say I do better with listening and answering questions, and this is legit a question I'm like failing to answer. But like, so I guess it just all depends. That there you go. Like that fits me. Like I'm a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. Can't fit into one category. I'm like all the things. Bam. What about you, babe?
Uh, Truly, I feel like it's very difficult for me to put into words. How would I actually describe myself, and who is that person? Who am I?
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like it's still an exploratory question. Still,
Yeah.
even now, even with as much as I understand of myself, my sense of self is actively evolving, and I'm always shifting. I feel like I would definitely describe myself as water,
Oh yeah.
in how, I can't shift. I can take many different forms. I can fit the space that I'm filling, yet also carve out a new path should I decide I want to or need to. And I'm also very much a person that is able to adapt. So if the path needs to divert, I'm able to adapt to that and
Mm-hmm.
move accordingly. You know, I change with temperature. My temperature can change to where water's hot, water's cold, or I can be absolutely still. There are times where the water is very choppy, the waves are crazy, and it's just the natural ebb and flow of who I am at any given time. And I've always felt that that's something I can relate myself to.
I love that.
And
It makes so much sense.
it's very interesting. It's been an interesting just life to end up here and still not know where this current version will end up.
Yeah.
In how that version of myself may change. So it's really quite interesting. It's a question that is somewhat still difficult for me to answer, only because I've spent so much of my life just filling the roles that were required of me, and the different titles that I've held throughout life in other people's lives without actively focusing on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so I went through, growing up, a childhood, being a son. And then as I got older, that shifted, and then I became a home health aide, which requires a different role to be filled, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that time that is now geared towards really helping sustain someone else's life and give them a quality of life, while at the same time, mine was pretty much non-existent. And so, through even transitioning out of that, it was a pretty immediate flip, going from son, caregiver, husband, and father. Just is where I have landed throughout life, just moving from one to the other, like seamlessly. And now I find myself to be in a very interesting position to be blessed enough to also make the time to discover different aspects of myself and finally start to have a phase of exploration and experimentation and just learning and figuring out who I am and who I want to be and what I want to be doing. And so I would say right now I am really actively taking hold of that, but also trying to have those shifts in mindset that are necessary to allow myself to do that and figure out what that even looks like. Like, what do I want to do? Like, we've had discussions like this when we're trying to figure out what is something you would like to do that you haven't done or that you don't do. What do you want to do? And it's difficult for me to even picture what that could be. And so now I would say it's nice to finally be allowing myself the opportunities to see where that goes. Like, I'm starting to even now have put myself out there with starting conversations and putting myself in places that can lead to other opportunities for experiences to occur.
Right.
That I largely would not.
Right.
Like, I would not be partaking in certain conversations in public forums and different spaces where it would like put a spotlight on me.
Yeah.
And now it's been interesting seeing this transition from someone who's largely been a foundational supporting character in other people's lives to now moving forward and being out in the forefront and figuring out, okay, what exactly, and figuring out what moves I would make that directly impact my life,
right,
while also still balancing and being mindful that I am still a husband and a father, and I want those choices and decisions that I make to reflect that, to where that's always the main focus of what I'm doing, but also leaving space to develop sense of self. And so right now it's a very interesting place. So I'm pretty optimistic about where I'm at and pretty excited of the possibilities of who this person is having the opportunity to become. So yeah, I'd say that would largely be my answer, but to have some finite bullet points as you did.
I think you did. I have a lot of bullet points.
I feel like most of what I just said was kind of broad and philosophical, if you will. So for the accurate and finite details that people can actually hold on to, and it's not just me doing soul searching, but the things that I actually do know of myself. I would say I'm a person who loves connection. That is something I value very much so, and I enjoy being able to have that interpersonal connections throughout all of my interactions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've been speaking about a lot recently in trying to promote that for even other people to make that shift from what has now become such a transactional feeling of interactions to actually have some depth to it, be authentic, and actually make some real connections with the people that we're interacting with.
Yeah.
And I would say that's something I enjoy. And a person who loves knowledge, enjoys the pursuit of really just intelligence and having conversations of depth and being able to converse with different people and understand mindset and explore the mind and all of its different facets. It's always been just really fascinating to me.
I know. Ditto.
Yeah, man, it's just something about it. Something
Mm-hmm.
about it that's just really so beautiful. I would still describe myself as an artist, although it has been quite some time since I have created in traditional means of
Yeah.
artistry.
I like that you added that part because you do a lot of digital creations.
Yeah, especially now with focusing more on graphic design to build different things within mutual intentional love. I've gravitated more to the graphic design aspect of art, even though I used to do more like actual drawing
Mm-hmm.
and painting, and both traditionally and digitally. So I would say that would be a part of who I am. And it's very interesting, even just to think about the art aspect of who
Mm-hmm.
I am, because there was a time in my life where when I was actively in it, I didn't fully understand why art held such a high level of importance in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I would describe it to anybody I was having a conversation with about it as like a need for me. Like art was as essential to me as air.
Yeah.
I literally needed it within my life, within some capacity, in every day to feel like myself.
Mm-hmm.
But now, having had the time to actually reflect on that and do the introspection and the self work, it was really a form of coping. It was a coping mechanism. There was a slight bit of escapism. It gave me an outlet that
Mm-hmm.
was positive, that I could channel all my emotion into, that I could just have a break from the reality of my life. There was something that I could pour into, that I could perfect, and I'll have the focus on the details and everything that I needed. And even having a sense of control, I feel like that was something that I could control, how I created and how the end result ended up being, that all of my choices of how I created my art were very intentional,
Mm-hmm.
even back then throughout all those years. And now having, transitioned through the different phases of life and no longer having some of those environmental circumstances, the need for it has shifted. I now can enjoy art. It's something that I enjoy, but it's not a need. It's not a necessity. I don't need to gravitate towards that to lean on it like a crutch. I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
So that's a nice bit of growth and something interesting to realize, and refinding my love of video games. That's been nice
Mm-hmm.
to be gaming again in the few minutes or spans that I can to have that happen. That's been nice and enjoyable,
Mm-hmm.
and exploring that aspect of what I enjoy. So yeah, I'd say before I let this just continue rambling on without my that's something I can explore deeper in my Sense of Self series that will be coming, and I can focus on that more throughout that instead of keep droning on here. So y'all can be on the lookout for that on my channel. I will be starting my Sense of Self series and dropping that on all platforms. Probably sometime soon.
Yeah.
May not be too soon, but soon enough.
Sure.
So be on the lookout for that.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So as always, everybody, keep it intentional and support love. Stay well and prosper, y'all. Peace.